Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome to Bidayah Screencast. Alhamdulillah, we have reached Chapter 8, and Chapter 8 discusses important selected rules of Tajweed, not the entire science of Tajweed, just certain rules that are necessary for reading the Quran at a beginner's level, inshallah. And as you can see, our map shows the final step out of 8 before reading Quran, alhamdulillah. And it's important to note that this chapter takes a practical approach to Tajweed. We are focusing on rules of Tajweed that will be applied, not necessarily the science behind each and every rule, but more importantly, we want to teach them in a way that they can be applied by the student. The first topic of Tajweed we discuss is the mudud, the med, as shown by this symbol. And here's the definition that the student can read in English or the teacher can explain to the student. The most effective technique for these lessons, particularly med, is for the student to study each case. We've outlined 10 different cases on this page. And for each case, the student should also repeat after the instructor or after the audio recordings online. A concept like med, which is very crucial to keep in mind the time span of 6 harakat or of 4 to 5 harakat. It's most useful to use the teacher's repetition or the audio recordings for the student to learn it, inshallah. And as we said before, the workbook also has practice for these. And inshallah, by taking it step by step, the student doesn't need to memorize all the cases, but he or she will be familiar with this symbol and what it means. And we can even use the hand technique for the student to count 6 harakat, for example, and then close their hand, or 4 or 5. Whatever is the easiest way, again, for the student to put it into practice, not necessarily to understand it detail by detail. The next topic we have in Tajweed is the rules of noon with sukun and tanween. We have the 4 rules of noon sakina, idhar, idgham, iqlab, and ikhfa. We took hopefully the least complicated approach possible by providing all the letters for each rule. For example, idhar has hamza, ha, ayn, ha, ghayn, kha. And then we provide an example for each case. So the student, now by this time, they're able to read 2 words without hesitating. We're just reminding them of a rule in between, as you could see in red. So man amana. The student understands, make it clear with these letters. Man amana qawmin hadin, and so forth. And then we have idgham with its letters, as well as an example for each case. We have iqlab, switching the noon into a meme. And we have several examples of this with tanween and noon with sukun. And finally, ikhfa, or hiding, with we provide some lines of poetry for memorizing the letters. This is only necessary for older students who are interested in knowing the science behind Tajweed, inshallah. And finally, the last concept we have is the meme sakina, meme with sukun, and it has 3 different rules. And inshallah, by taking a step-by-step approach, one example at a time, and with patience, inshallah, and not necessarily understanding exactly which letters come after, just being familiar with it, and practicing several repetition examples online with the audio recordings, the student will be able to advance to the Quran more easily. Also, the second half of this page is the noon and meme with shadda. We introduce the student to the gunna and to the fact that you should make a nasal sound or merging for the duration of 2 characters, 2 harakat. And we provide 4 different examples, some with noon, some with meme, and the last one with both noon and meme. So inshallah, the student will benefit from these rules of Tajweed and read the Quran the most smoothly as he or she transitions into reading, inshallah. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum.